Hey guys, Professor Dex here today to talk to you a little bit about exercise and disease for PED 100. I teach one of the PED 100 sections here in the kinesiology department. So today we're going to learn, a little bit about what are some diseases that we have and how can we prevent those with exercise. So just to start with some statistics, about 70% of the population suffers from being overweight and obese. About 1 in 4 people die of heart disease, which accounts for about 25%. 29% suffer from hypertension and 9.4% suffer from diabetes. And so numbers that we kind of want to watch out for and be, concerned about is a BMI greater than 30. BMI is not body fat percentage. It's just our height and our weight, and then it pops out a number for us. We want to watch for our waist to hip ratio, making sure that it's nothing above 0.9, and these slides are going to repeat. But going back to the waist to hip ratio, again, to find that, just put a tape measure around right above your hips, and then put a hand kind of right below your belly button, and then right below your hand you can put your tape measure, and that would find your waist to hip ratio. We want to make sure our blood pressure is below 140/90, and watch the blood sugar as well. So how can we improve these numbers? If we exercise, we become happy and we decrease our weight, improve our body fat percentage, increase our strength. We can decrease that blood pressure, staying out of the hypertensive area, improve our cardiovascular fitness, and decrease our stress. All good things. So if we're creating an aerobic exercise program, we could do what's called high intensity interval training, meaning we're probably going to work at a 1-to-1 ratio or so, meaning 1 minute on, 1 minute off for 10 rounds. And we want our heart rate to be about 85 to 95% of our heart rate max, which is just 220 minus your age, and this slide's going to repeat. And so we'd take, 220 minus our age, and so for 1 minute we want to be at 95%. The next minute we want to drop that down to 60%. Or we could do moderate continuous exercise, which would be for about an hour, and that would be at about 70 to 85% of our heart rate max. And so now let's walk you guys through an example of how this works. So for HIIT, Jamie, she's 22 years old. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 220 minus her age to find her heart rate max. So it's about 198 beats per minute. To find her high intensity interval, I'm going to take 0.95 times her highest heart rate. And then for her recovery, take that heart rate by 0.6. And now for our continuous exercise example, we have Jack. He's a 20-year-old male. Take 220 minus his age to find his or her heart rate, which is about 200 beats per minute. Multiply it by 0.75. So he's going to exercise for an hour, keeping his heart rate at about 150 beats per minute. But what if we want to resistance train? If we want to resistance train, usually for optimal strength, we're going to do 2 to 6 sets for 1 to 6 reps. For hypertrophy or muscle growth, we're usually doing 3 to 6 sets or 6 to 12 reps. And again, that depends on kind of your exercise level or your training age, how long you've been exercising for. So let's look at Jamie again. Her squat's about 200 pounds. She'll then take a percentage of her 1RM to determine how many reps that she's going to do. So 2 reps would be about 95% intensity. So about 190 pounds, we'd expect Jamie could squat for 2 reps, and so on and so forth. Now for muscle growth, for Jack, he can bench 100 pounds. He's going to take a percentage of his 1RM. Okay, so if he wants hypertrophy, he wants to perform 8 reps. He's going to take 80% of his 1 rep max, and he should be able to do 80 pounds for about 8 reps or so, give or take. But wait, before you start an exercise program, we have static stretching and a general warm-up. Should you static stretch before exercise? Absolutely not. Do a general or dynamic warm-up. The whole goal of a warm-up is to get your body hot and warm and start sweating. A static stretch does not do that. So, what did we learn? Whether we walk at a low intensity, run at a high intensity, we're going to have success. And so, depending on your training age, how long you've been exercising, is whether or not you're going to start out at a high intensity or a low intensity. And that's today's lecture, and just drop some knowledge on you guys.
Created using Powtoon.